Hi, this video is to show you the Axiom Learning platform and how you can use it in class with your students. You go to ClassLink, and from here you would just type in Axiom and then click on the platform. Once you're here, you'll be taken to your teacher dashboard, and once all your students are rostered and your curriculum is loaded, you can go here to open a class. You can see that I have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade as my programs. 6th grade starts off with starting strong as they start middle school. 7th grade's theme is finding my flow, and 8th grade's theme is practicing independence. So I'm going to scroll down to 8th grade. And for practicing independence, you can see that they have 9 different modules here. And within each module, you have 4 lessons. And each one is tailored to a different topic within the broader theme of practicing independence. My students in particular are working on communicating effectively with adults. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that one. Once you click on each module, you're going to be taken to a page where there's a module overview. So they'll talk a little bit about the strategy that they introduce in the module. This particular one introduces a tap-in strategy that stands for task, ally, and plan your ask. It has learning objectives, which you can put on your board in your classroom or on your Canvas page. And then it has overviews of what each lesson includes. As you scroll down, you'll see additional teacher resources. For example, there's a poster that helps remind the kids what the tap-in strategy is, and that looks like this. So it's a very simple infographic, but it can be used as something that you put up in your classroom or something that the kids keep in their binder or their folder, and it just allows them to remember what the strategy is and how they can apply it when they're working on practicing communicating with adults. So once I'm ready to launch my lesson, I'll click on lesson 1. And up here, you're going to see the launch and assign buttons. So if you click assign, you can assign this module or this lesson to individual students, and they can do that while you're showing it on the big board, or they can do it independently. I don't typically recommend doing independent lessons until you get to maybe lesson 3 or 4, where the kids really have an idea of what the module looks like and what they're talking about. So typically what I like to do is just launch the lesson on the big board and then use it as a discussion tool and a really good lesson for the kids as a whole group. And you can see here too that they have a regulation activity that they always include. And this might be something connected to mindfulness. So it might be breath work. It could be like giving yourself pressure, like arm squeezes or squeezing your hands. Then they do a brain warm-up, which is helping the kids focus on the task at hand and making sure that they're focused for the lesson. And then comes the main lesson. So when I'm ready to launch, I click that button and it will take me to something that looks like this. So first, it will start with the regulation activity. So this one is talking about good pressure and that it can be a tool to reset your body. And it talks about why you should try it and also how to do it. It always asks the kids for reflection after the regulation activity to see if that helped them feel more focused, calm, energized, and more in control. Then here comes the brain warm-up. So this one in particular has a video attached to it, and it's about remembering different color arrows. And it's actually kind of cool to see the kids interact with some of the brain warm-ups. They really get a kick out of them, and it's a good way for them to just get focused on what we're doing in the class. Again, a reflection question. And then here just kind of introduces the main lesson. So speaking up when you're stuck, and it talks about what you're going to explore in the lesson. And again, it talks about some of those learning objectives. It always likes to check in with the students, and this is a great first discussion piece that it's a way to discuss what you already know or what you already think and feel about asking adults for help or communicating with adults. And they do a couple of self-check questions. And then they ask about what gets in the way of effectively communicating with adults. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're lazy or that they don't care. It just means that there are real challenges to speaking up, especially when you're looking at talking to people of an authority figure or people in your family or anything like that. And it also kind of talks about what happens if you stay silent. Who communicates more effectively? So here they're giving a scenario. Why did that work better? And then here has some questions. When you wanted to ask for help or you wanted to ask for something, have you ever not asked? What made it hard to speak up? And what do you wish you would have done differently? So a lot of times I can use this as a discussion tool, and we don't really type anything in here. Sometimes if participation is a little bit of an issue, I might write their specific names. So if I just come up with a couple of names like Andy, Mike, and Sean, I might ask each one. So I might say like, Andy, have you ever needed help but you didn't ask? Tell me a situation where that happened. And then I might write down his response, or I may just give him the keyboard on the big board and tell him to write down his response. So you can customize it to whatever type of participation you want in your sessions. And then from there, it talks about clear equals confidence, and it gives you an exit ticket. And then it talks about that you just explored why it's important to ask for help. And so next time we'll learn that step-by-step strategy, which the second lesson gets more into the tap-in strategy and the way that it works. And that's really as simple as it is. Axiom does a great job of keeping it simple so that the kids can really focus on the discussion piece and how to really use this and apply these strategies to whatever topic you're working on. So that is just a brief overview of what you can expect and what types of resources you have available to you in Axiom. If you have any questions or you need any help accessing the platform, just let me know.